What's up everybody, this is George of Chrono Couple Gaming, and today we are starting our My Team career in F1 2020. The most anticipated game mode I think for a very long time in the F1 series. Basically where you get to drive and manage your own team. So your own badge, your own car, design, everything, it's all yours. It's taking it to an absolute new level, and for people who play games like Football Manager, you know, this is the dream come true really. This is what we've all wanted for a long time. So here I'm just creating my character. Gone with the guy that kind of looks like me, not properly, same guy as usual. But yeah, it's just entering the name and the initials right now. So here's something that kind of annoys me though, right? There's a driver called George Russell in F1, and he's been in for the last 2 years now. But yet you can't get George as an audio name, and I don't understand it. You can see me angrily scrolling through here like that. Like, how have they not got it in? They know how to say it. Don't even have to ask David Croft to say an extra line. But yeah, it's just not there. So went with the audio name being Harris instead, because it's ever so slightly like my last name. Not really, but it'll do. And yeah, for the driver number as well, the usual one for me, 95, like you've probably seen in my seen some of the stuff that I've done in the past. It's something they didn't ask you before though. If you became champion before in the series, you just got number one automatically. But just like real life, you could say no. If you become champion, you don't want number one. And I'm going with no because Lewis Hamilton obviously does not change number one when he wins the title every year, and it's served him pretty well, let's say. So skipping ahead here to My Team, this is when you actually click on it. When you first start the game, you actually create the character like that, but when you get into My Team itself, this is what you have to do.
Experience the world of Formula One not only as a driver, but as the owner of a brand new F1 team. First things first, let's choose your character.
See, unsurprisingly, we go for the character we just made there. That handsome young man there. What a guy. I kind of wanted to create another maybe, but I thought no, let's go with me.
Let's set up some of the key details of your new team. We'll start with an easy one. What name would you like to give the team?
What name did I go for? Well, I went for the name of the team that's got the most success that isn't actually on the grid anymore, and it's Team Lotus. Now these guys have got the most championships of wins, apart from Ferrari, McLaren, Williams, and now Mercedes.
Nice.
And I've brought them back to the grid. Team Lotus hasn't been on the grid since '94, if you guys who don't know. There was a slight revival in 2010. There was a Lotus team called that, but it wasn't the original Team Lotus.
To cover the early investments we need to make. They will also provide valuable weekly income for us. Each sponsor has a goal that they want the team to achieve. If we hit that goal, the sponsor will pay us an additional goal bonus.
Yeah, so if you've got all that there, it's quite in depth to be fair. Like you have to think about who you're going to go for with the sponsor. I ended up going for Pacifico here just because 25 Constructors Championship points in a season over 22 rounds. I feel like we can do that even with a team that's not got the best car in the grid, because you do start fairly towards the bottom as you'd expect, to be fair. But yeah, $5.2 million signing bonus there, nearly $5 million bonus for when they get the goal, and a weekly income of over $200,000. That will come in handy.
Our car won't be going anywhere fast without a power unit. So let's sign a power unit supplier now.
So again, just like the Real Sport,
we need both performance and durability from our power unit, but we also need to balance the books. We're going to have a lot of other areas to invest our cash into.
There we go, if I get a chance to speak. But yeah, so you can go for Honda, Renault, Mercedes or Ferrari. I went for Honda because their performance and durability, yeah, it's the worst there. But for the cost of the engine, it's the cheapest by far. It's just over half the cost of the Ferrari. I don't know why the Ferrari is so high, by the way. As we saw in Austria in real life, the Ferrari engine is just not at it now. It's been changed to be legal. Eventually, I kind of toy the idea of Mercedes. I think Honda or Mercedes are probably the best ones to go for. Honda because they're cheap and not that bad, and Mercedes because probably best value for money,
We
really.
almost have all the key partners for our team now, but we still need a teammate for you.
And this is interesting too. So you get to choose a F2 driver from last season to be your teammate. You don't get to choose from all of them. I think it's randomly assigned. Like I think you get a choice of about 7.
When a driver earns enough acclaim, they will level level up. The higher a driver's level, the more acclaim they'll earn for their current team. And remember, the faster the team levels up, the faster our income will increase. The higher a driver's experience, the more resource points are earned to spend on vehicle upgrades. Racecraft is the driver's skill to effectively complete overtakes when opportunities arise. Awareness shows the driver's ability to avoid errors and incidents. Pace describes the driver's ability to set competitive lap times. Rating is a summary of the driver's overall skill level.
So yeah, we got quite a few drivers to pick from here, and all the stats are important. They're going to be quite low on experience levels because they don't have any experience in F1 cars. But I ended up going for that man just to your left there, Antoine Hubert. Probably saying that wrong, butchering the French pronunciation as usual. I didn't learn it in school, so there you go. But he is a good driver in this. He's 65 overall, and obviously, I mean, look at that pace, 78 as well. He's a very good driver to go for. $1.5 million contract cost as well. He's not a bad one to opt for at all. And obviously,
Like we can afford this
for those
power
that
unit
don't
supplier
know,
and teammate.
Hubert
Go
did
ahead and
unfortunately
confirm
pass
it.
away in last year's F2 Championship. So I feel like having him in the team, you know, it's resurrecting two legends. I'm resurrecting the Lotus team, and as well, I'm bringing back Antoine Hubert. It's like a what if of what would have happened if he lived. You know, I mean, he might not have made it to F1 this year, but probably next year. He was a very promising talent, and he was sorely missed. So yeah, I feel like that was a good choice for a teammate. I mean, obviously there are some better drivers. I think Jack Aitken's the highest rated, but I don't think you get to choose from all of them. I didn't see an option to go for all of them. And then you get to choose your livery. I just edited that to be like the original Team Lotus livery, green with some gold on it too. And I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty nice. I think. I mean, you can disagree if you want. You can think it looks like the Kermit the Frog car if you want, but I like it. I like the look of it. And every year as well, I think it says in it, but every year you get to go back and change your livery, change your overall colours and stuff like that. So we'll be going through, for every season that passes by, we'll be going through different classic liveries from the Lotus years. Obviously, there's the black and gold one that's the most famous one that we saw on Lotus on the when they were on the grid last in 2015. We'll probably be doing that one at some point. But let's start at the start, the original one. The good old green. British Racing green, I think, technically. But again, correct me if I'm wrong on that one. And you can do the badge too, and you can't go too in depth with this. I mean, it's pretty sweet, but it's not as in depth as what some of the things are. I mean, I remember Call of Duty Black Ops back in the day. You could go really in detail with like your call sign and your signature and all that stuff. You can't go too in depth here, but you get some different shapes and stuff. And I ended up trying to make the original, or something as close to the original Team Lotus colour as possible. I went with the triangle one here because obviously the Lotus badge is a triangle inside a circle like this. I ended up getting that, and honestly, it kind of looks like a cult badge. Not a very good one at that, but it's the best you can do in this game. So, so I'm sure you guys, you artists out there, could do a lot better job than me there, but that'll do. As long as the car's fast, that's what really matters.
We'll come back here at the start of each season. But if you're ready to go, hit advance to head to Team HQ, and we can start our push to the top of Formula One.
Yeah, and there we go. That's the team colours, the racing suits, the driver. It's Housen Huber, H&H. And yeah, and when you get to choose a season as well, you can have a reduced season if you want. You can go for 16 races, 10 races if you fancy something a bit more brief. Those are different options for you there. Unfortunately, you can't take Vietnam out no matter what, which sucks because, as you'll see in a future video on this channel, I do not like the Vietnam track. It's pretty bad. But yeah, we're going for the full season, full 22 races. We're not messing around here. And those are the settings, very briefly, that we're going with. Going with 95 AI to start with. I tried doing 90 before on the Dutch Grand Prix. My first race around Zandvoort, and I nearly lapped the entire field with Max Verstappen. So I feel like 95 may not be high enough, but we'll see how that goes. And yeah, obviously now you've got your new team. You eventually have to meet the press, and there's something new this game, for this year's game, if you haven't already seen the promotions. And yes, your eyes don't deceive you. That is the man, the myth, the legend himself, William of Buxton himself. The guy you'll probably know from the F1 YouTube channel.
Live in 5, 4, 3. Hello folks, and welcome to the HQ of Formula One's newest team. We've been invited backstage to gain an exclusive insight into what could be one of the most exciting entries in the sport for many years. Now, we've seen a number of new teams enter the sport over the last decade, amongst their number Manor, Caterham, HRT and of course Haas. And while some have proved to be successful, others have morphed into different teams and some have disappeared completely. What marks this team out, though, as being something different is that its owner is also its driver. Now, there's a rich history of that in Formula 1 too. Sir Jack Brabham, John Surtees, Graham Hill and Bruce McLaren all drove their own cars in the sport, but it has become increasingly rare in recent years. What's very special about this team, though, is that while the team itself is new to Formula 1, so too is its driver and owner.
Whatever happens this season, you've already made the history books. Tell me, do you feel up to the mammoth task of both managing and driving for a Formula 1 team?
Actually, now you mention it, mate, no, I don't. I think I'm going to pull the plug now. It had a good run in F1, but I think it's over. Good luck, guys. Hope you get to run the car for the rest of the season. Yeah, no, of course I am. It's a lot of hard work, but no, nothing is easy is worth doing. That's very true.
Every team needs two drivers, but what was it that drew you to your team?
Very quick, and that Renault sponsor money, that'd be great, even though we've got Honda engines in the back. I didn't really think that one through, but there you go. By the way, I love how he mentions those teams. He mentions Haas, but they've done quite well, but he mentions HRT, Caterham, Virgin. They all did terrible.
No one aims to finish bottom of the table. Who's the team you're aiming to beat?
All of them. Mercedes. We're gonna destroy them. No, let's be realistic. I'll beat Ferrari, hopefully. They're pretty terrible in real life, but I think in this game they're actually almost as fast as the Mercedes, which is a bit unrealistic. Cody sorted out. I can't remember who I picked in the end. I think I've been really aspirational. Go for AlphaTauri, aka Toro Rosso. Let's have a look. Who do I go for? Oh, I'm going to decide. Yep, there we go. AlphaTauri it is.
How are you expecting the car to feel out on track?
Like a canal barge, but we'll do our best. I have no idea. I have no idea how. Well, obviously it's a post-com, so I do really know, but I had no idea at this point how the car was in terms of the pecking order. I kind of assumed that it would have been bottom, but that's not quite where it is.
The other teams now have years of experience, both on and off the track. How are you planning to catch up to them?
Don't need to catch up. I've been watching F1 for years. I know most of these whippersnappers. I know everything about F1. I don't know what I put here. I generally can't remember what I put for these answers. A fresh pair of eyes can find solutions that teams haven't. That's very true, actually.
Part of this sport. How have you ensured that your car can take advantage of each opportunity that comes your way?
I mean, DRS, full engine mode. Did I go for the light car? Let's have a look. Oh no, it's the whole season. No, it is the light car. So yeah, I think the best thing to do with these questions is to praise different parts of the team. To praise the engine, praise the aerodynamics, the chassis, and the durability. Do as many of them as you can just to boost the morale in those departments. Because when you get higher morale, the parts cost less, and I think they also fail less too. So it does come in handy.
In its first Grand Prix.
Okay, great, thank you. That's a wrap.
Cheers, Will.
Interview boss, you nailed exactly what the team's been working on. When you've got time, check the R&D tree to see our current progress and where we think there's room for more. And while you're at it, why not take a stroll around HQ and check on how the team's doing?
Yeah, it's almost as if the answers that I gave programmed which departments are doing better than others. I guess I'm just being cynical though.
It's important to use the time between races to the fullest extent, and that's where these activities come in. Manage everyone's time as efficiently as possible to maximise the team's performance.
I'll be honest, when I first got onto this screen here, it's a bit overwhelming. It's like when you play Football Manager the first time or something like that. I just kind of set them to autofill activities, trusting that the game won't screw me over. I hope it doesn't. I will go more in depth with it as I get more used to it, but it's just a massive learning curve. I mean,
this is where you
just look at this screen here
and the effects they're having on the business. You can also invest some of our cash into upgrades for these facilities.
Like, it's insane how in-depth all this is. And it's brilliant, don't get me wrong, I love it, but
our new parts have been
it's a big learning curve when you first go in. It is really diving into the deep end. And I'm honest, if I'm being honest, I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to this stuff. I'm just kind of guessing. I love this though. Like when you first start as an F1 team, it's just your simulator. It's just you in a racing chair and a wheel. Like you see these guys in the real teams, they've got like these massive like multi-1,000-pound rigs. I'm just a bloke playing a game on the TV. It's just like me. And yeah, and then you get to reveal the car in an incredibly dramatic show. I mean, look at this. This is incredible. Ooh. There it is, the Pacifico Team Lotus. Let's call it the AH01. Let's name it after Antoine himself. Obviously, in this universe, he's still alive, but I feel like it'd be a nice name for the car. Unless someone else has taken AH01. Do let me know in the comments below if that's if that's happened. I got a trophy for that as well, which is nice. The new kids on the block. We are the new guys in Formula 1. I meant to edit out this loading screen, but I didn't. But it's okay because I've segued it to this. There we go. I do miss some of them. I have condensed this as much as I can. There's so much to it. I must have spent a good half an hour going through all the menus and stuff here. There is so much to this game. And I'm sure you guys are in the same boat as me here, unless you've played the open beta or something like that. Yeah, got a trophy for that. Team building, I don't know what that's for.
Okay, we've had the new
Probably
parts
building
come
the team,
through
I
from
guess.
the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
Yeah, and there was a sneak preview of the performance table there as well. I think we're 9th overall out of 11. Remember, there's 9th. There we go. Ahead of Haas and Williams. So those are the guys we're in and around in terms of performance. Let's see if we can beat them through this season. It's not going to be easy. Although I imagine we'll be able to upgrade the car quite quickly. And yeah, that pretty much brings the video to an end now. We're at the Australian Grand Prix. We'll be actually racing the Australian Grand Prix in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please do leave a like if you did like the video, and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. We'll have the Australian Grand Prix in the next video on this series. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and see you for the next one. Bye bye.